This is Hellfire RPGs and welcome to my Breath of Fire Binge, where I'll be reviewing and creating other content for all the games in the series. With 2 games down so far, it's time to look into some facts. This video is going to look at all of the things that you didn't know about Breath of Fire 2. Let me know which facts you found the most interesting, or if I missed anything good. Also, be sure to sub for loads more Breath of Fire and RPG content coming soon. Let's get into it. Like the first game, Breath of Fire 2 had a TV commercial in Japan to help promote the release. What's interesting here is that half of it is live action.
Breath of Fire.
どうか私に力をください。
スーパーファミコン用 RPG Breath of Fire 2好評発売中 Capcom.
This advert also features an original Capcom produced song that translates to Endless Love. Take a listen. There are quite a few NPCs in Breath of Fire 2 whose names are inspired by other fictional or real-life figures. One of the characters that you can recruit in Guns is named Karashina Kofu, who opens up an armory when recruited. This name is a misromanization of Mikhail Kalashnikov, who was a Russian general and the arms designer who developed the AK-47 assault rifle. To top it off, Beretta and Remington are 2 other recruitable NPCs who open up armories. These names are derived from real weapon manufacturers. And remember those rich old guys Kilgore and Trout? These characters reference Kilgore Trout, a fictional character created by author Kurt Vonnegut. And what about that strange guy in the magic school toilets that yells, "Ah, it's Hanako"? Some may have put this down to a translation error, but in fact Hanako-san is a Japanese urban legend about a young female ghost that haunts school bathrooms. And finally, when you're sent on a mission to gather the owl fruit, you're encountered by the boss Algernon. This is a reference to the sci-fi short story Flowers for Algernon. Better yet, the 2 enemies that fight alongside Algernon, Danielle and Suki, are anagrams for the book's author Daniel Keyes. Pretty awesome stuff. Now, let's talk about boobs. Yeah, that got your attention. I think the developers had a bit of fun with the engineer Ichichi's name. For starters, Chi-Chi is a Japanese slang term for breasts, and in kanji, Chi-Chi literally translates to milk. This is funny as the character Ichichi is of the Iron Ogre clan, who of course display bovine traits. But here's the kicker, in the end credits, this character is referred to as a Titty F cup. I'll never look at her pixels the same way again. If you finish the game, you may have noticed some other strange names in the final credits. Instead of putting the game's staff members, they decided to fill the credits with all of the characters in the game with loads of Western references. There are so many, but let's take a look at some of the more interesting ones. The magician Ged is named after the protagonist of Ursula K. Le Guin's Earthsea series of novels, and Le Guin herself is referenced in the game's end credits as one of the Windian guards. And what about the Great Bird of Windia? This one is referred to as the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars.
Fast ship. You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon? It's a ship that made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs.
The Coliseum guards are named Eddie, Alex, and David after 3 of the members from the rock band Van Halen, Eddie and Alex Van Halen and David Lee Roth. The witches in the restaurant are named after famous singers including Mariah Carey, Tina Turner, and Aretha Franklin. And what about the Resistance members? They're all named after Disney characters, including Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy.
Gosh.
There are loads more of these, so take a look for yourself next time you complete the game. I mentioned in my Final Fantasy IX Know the Facts that there was a secret quest discovered 13 years after its release. You wouldn't believe it, but Breath of Fire 2 tops this with its Bando secret that was only discovered several years ago. Normally you would step on the tiles here to move the doors left and right through the corridor. However, if you stand on the right tile for about 4 minutes, additional rooms will open up. Some of these doors contain powerful equipment, but I think the best thing is that you can actually obtain the Holy Shaman Seni at this point of the game. I find it amusing to think that someone accidentally discovered this one day. Now, let's talk about our favourite amphibious friend, Jean. In the Breath of Fire official complete works art book, it states that Jean's concept and extravagant medieval costume was inspired by the Grimm's fairy tale The Frog Prince. Jean's actual name also has a few interesting facts surrounding it. In the Japanese release, Jean goes by his last name, Tapita. However, it's his first name, Ikaru, that has quite a bit to it. Firstly, Ikaru is also an anagram for Keiru, the Japanese word for frog. Secondly, Ikaru is the Japanese spelling of Ikarl, a reference to Eric Carle, a famous famous American children's author and illustrator. Eric Carle even won a Japanese Picture Book Award, which is the country's highest award for illustrated books. Also worth noting is that the reference is taken further in Jean's Breath of Fire 3 appearance, where he appears as a painter. His name was also changed to E. Carle. Breath of Fire 2 has a load of unused content hidden within the game. We'll start with some graphics. While these unused barrel and pot sprites are nothing interesting, this Manilo shopkeeper sprite sure is. It looks like at one point they were going to blow your character a kiss. There's also quite a few unused areas in the game. This is a corridor that links to Kat's entrance to the Colosseum. And what about Ryu's next door neighbor at Hometown? This house doesn't have a staircase to the second floor, but in the code it actually does have a second floor. And did you ever play any of those old Dragon Quest games? If so, you may remember the tune that plays when you sleep at the inn. For some strange reason, there is a variation of this tune hidden within Breath of Fire 2's data. Do you remember the long bridge that connected Winland in Breath of Fire 1? Well, it looks like this concept was going to be reused, as an unfinished bridge next to Windia is present in the game's code. Now, last but not least, each character also had an introduction screen that was to play after each character's intro scene. This is present in the Japanese version of the game, but for some reason it was left out of the other versions. Do you know about the glitch that allows you to obtain loads of cash very early in the game? The first thing you need to do is pick up the tree pole item from your dresser, then proceed through the game until you reach the guild. Here, pick up the live PL and then sell it to the armory just to make some required cash. Once you do this, switch to Bo as the lead character, talk to the shopkeeper, select switch, choose the bronze sword, then when you're asked may I trade it in, hit A and B at the same time. After hitting these buttons a few times, you'll arrive at this glitch screen which will bring up your item list. From here, when you select tree pole, it's registered as Nature Whip, which is worth a whopping 90,000 gold. So when you're asked to trade it in, continually hit A and B again and your money will skyrocket. And that's all for today. Which fact surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. This was Hellfire RPGs, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more Breath of Fire content coming soon. See you next time.